Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Today we are taking a look at the Expendables 4, and more specifically, the fact that the Expendables 4 has just set the full cast. Stallone, Statham, 50 Cent, and Megan Fox for some reason. That's quite an interesting casting choice to bring Megan Fox into the franchise, but hey, it's probably going to be better than Ronda Rousey, let's be 100% honest. Sylvester Stallone and Jason Statham are back for Expendables 4 with Megan Fox and 50 Cent also joining the cast of the highly anticipated sequel. Now, to be fair, 50 Cent did do what were those movies called? Escape Plan, the Escape Plan movies with Stallone. So seeing 50 Cent join the Expendables 4 is not all that surprising to me. But here we go. Here's the start of the article. Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone are officially returning for the Expendables 4. With several new cast members in 2010, Stallone brought together some of the action genre's biggest stars, including Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, Mickey Rourke, Terry Crews, Steve Austin, and Randy Couture for a bloody and brutal take on 90s era action flicks. Well, it was more 80s and 90s, let's be 100% honest. But yeah, more 80s, 90s action movies. The film followed the titular team of elite mercenaries as they try to overthrow a Latin American dictator who was hiding a much bigger secret. Stallone went on to write 2 more sequels, stepping down as director after the first one, but bringing even more icons of the genre. The Expendables 2 released 2 years later in 2012, followed by The Expendables 3 in 2014. While never critical darlings plot-wise, many praised the bombastic action of the series and increased absurdity of each film as they all found box office success. The Expendables 3 was not a hit at the box office, and that was more due to the fact that that was a PG-13 rated entry in an R-rated franchise. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, and I do know that Sylvester Stallone did come out like, oh, this was probably a few years ago now, and I cannot find the tweet to save my life. But he did basically acknowledge that making the Expendables 3 PG-13 was the biggest mistake that they made. But where was it? Oh yeah. Each sequel added even more iconic action stars with the Expendables 2 bringing Chuck Norris, which the Expendables 2 was Chuck Norris's last movie, and was rather unfortunate because Chuck Norris is only in the movie for maybe 5 minutes, and doesn't really do any action scenes either. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bruce Willis, and Arnold Schwarzenegger on board in the third film, adding Antonio Banderas, Wesley Snipes, Kelsey Grammer, Mel Gibson, and Harrison Ford. Now with Stallone and Statham returning, some more stars will be joining them. Lionsgate announced that the Expendables 4 is officially in the works with both Megan Fox, Tony Jaa. Okay, he was the for those that don't know, Tony Jaa was the Ong Bak guy. If you're familiar with the Ong Bak movies. And rapper 50 Cent set to join the cast. Lundgren and Couture will also be reprising their roles from the first 3 films. Production will start this fall, but no release date has been set yet. It wouldn't surprise me if Jet Li just never came back at all, because Jet Li was in the first movie, then in the second one, I think he was only in like the very, very beginning, and then the Expendables 3, he's only on screen for maybe 30 seconds. Stallone has been teasing the Expendables 4 for quite some time, making this recent announcement a welcome one. The new cast is also sure to spark excitement. Jaa is a Thai martial artist, stuntman, actor, and action choreographer. Again, Tony Jaa was also the guy that starred in the Ong Bak movies, all 3 of them, making him perfect for a role in the film. He has already starred in numerous tentpoles overseas, while his Hollywood debut came in 2015 with Furious 7. Fox, on the other hand, is a perfect addition. I'm going to have to agree to disagree. Having shown her range in various films, including underrated cult classic Jennifer's Body and films like the Transformers movies, and they even bring up Jonah Hex. Jonah Hex wasn't really that great of a movie, and let's be honest, she was only in the Transformers movies just for eye candy. 50 Cent, real name Curtis Jackson, has also had a long career starring in Hollywood films, beginning with the autobiographical Get Rich or Die Trying in '05. Jackson has gone on to star in numerous action films after. Even with Jaa, Fox, and Curtis added, though, it may be only the tip of the iceberg for the Expendable 4's cast, as the first 3 films have had quite the ensembles. It seems like even more action stars could be added to the film to make for another bloody and epic adventure. Yeah, if they don't make the Expendables 4 PG-13, that would be a great start. I think that's what they honestly need to do. They need to make the Expendables 4 an R-rated movie to apologize for the Expendables 3 being a PG-13 entry, and make it known from the very first trailer that this is going to be an R-rated movie. Do what A Good Day to Die Hard did. They basically came out and made it known it was going to be an R-rated Die Hard movie after Live Free or Die Hard was PG-13. But So there was a follow up to this article like very very quickly after, basically titled "Why the Expendables 4 Just Cast Megan Fox and 50 Cent." Probably to offset some of the backlash, especially for casting someone like Megan Fox and even 50 Cent, because 50 Cent's not really an action movie star, and you're going into a franchise that has been a callback to the 80s and 90s action movies of yesteryear. The Expendables franchise is known for mostly featuring older action movie stars, but The Expendables 4 has cast Megan Fox and 50 Cent. Here's why. The Expendables 4 has cast 50 Cent, Megan Fox, and Tony Jaa to play brand new characters, marking a shift from the franchise's past focus on old school action stars. Officially announced by Lionsgate after numerous teasers from the franchise starring creator Sylvester Stallone, the film will be the first entry in the action series since 2014's The Expendables 3. It sounds like The Expendables 4 may be taking a slightly different approach than the previous films, with only a handful of the old crew confirmed to be returning so far, and the new additions of younger stars like Fox and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. First and foremost, The Expendables has always been about paying homage to the 1980s and 1990s heyday of action movies. Action stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Chuck Norris, Harrison Ford, Wesley Snipes, Dolph Lundgren, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and many others have featured in the franchise over the years. So why does The Expendables 4 seem to be moving away from the older action stars and centering other actors like Jackson and Fox? In all likelihood, the introduction of more actors outside the classic action movie realm is meant to both expand the relevance of The Expendables 4 and to give it a different feel than the previous films. But see, this is the primary problem. The whole, I hate to use this word, but I can't think of a better term right now. The whole gimmick of The Expendables was you had guys like Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren, and Arnold Schwarzenegger coming back and making an action movie from the 1980s. If you remove the 80s action movie stars out of it, I think the entire thing falls apart. While the retro, macho, bloody action of the original trilogy was great fun for fans of the genre, the series sort of ran out of places to go by the end of the third film. See, I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I think there's plenty of things you can do with an 80s action movie. You just have to make it cheesy and over the top. Which was also the worst performing entry at the box office, and largely because The Expendables 3 was a PG-13 entry in an R-rated franchise. In short, The Expendables 4 needs to change things up if it's going to be more than just a retread of its predecessors. I don't think it really needs to change beyond what it is. Just make it ridiculous and over the top, Adding in new talent like Fox, Jaa, and 50 Cent is a great way to do that, as it opens up opportunities for different characters to take the stage and new kinds of stories to be told. They did that with The Expendables 3 when they added in, I remember they added in Ronda Rousey, and I can't remember the others, but they tried doing the mixture of the old and new, and I remember people not really liking that. With Stallone, Statham, Lundgren, and Randy Couture all confirmed to be returning, there's no doubt that The Expendables 4 will still have plenty of action nostalgia the series is known for, but allowing space for other kinds of characters could open the franchise up to new fans and keep the film from falling into the same pitfalls as The Expendables 3. The problem is, it is falling into the exact same pitfalls as The Expendables 3, because they casted people like Ronda Rousey to, placate to that younger generation, and The Expendables 3 was the only box office bomb. The first two movies made money, the third one did not. Plus, it's not like Fox and Jackson are strangers to the action movie genre. Fox rose to fame as one of the leads of the Transformers franchise, where she was pure eye candy, which practically defined the genre for better or worse during the mid-2000s. That I don't disagree with them on. 50 Cent is also a veteran of action movies, having appeared in films like Escape Plan and Den of Thieves, and Jaa is an incredibly prolific martial artist with plenty of action credits to his name. With many of the older Expendables stars likely not returning due to age or scheduling conflicts, the new cast members could be exactly what The Expendables 4 needs. And I will defend Tony Jaa's casting, simply just given his martial arts career, and also he's the guy from the Ong Bak movies. But again, my big fear for The Expendables 4 is now they're making the exact same mistakes that they did with The Expendables 3. How many people went to go see The Expendables because Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Randy Couture, all coming back for an action movie in the style of the 1980s action movies that you grew up on? Movies like, the first Rambo is a pretty bad example, but, you're getting, the movies like Die Hard or Commando, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where they were, you know, big muscular guys, and all of these movies were insanely over the top. None of them were ever taken too seriously. To basically close this off, and I know I'm repeating myself here. My big fear for the Expendables 4 is that it's gonna take itself too seriously when it probably shouldn't. And guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it right here because I've gone on as long as I need to go. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm terrible at ending these videos, so I will just see you guys next time.